Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has announced the arrest of 3 Air Force generals he says were plotting a coup. The arrests come after months of political unrest and sometimes deadly protest in Venezuela. CCTV's Martin Markovits joins us live from Caracas. And Martin, what's the latest on the dismissal of these generals?
Yeah, hi, Mike. Yes, like you said, President Nicolas Maduro said yesterday that these 3 generals, who have not been named, were planning a coup inside the country's Air Force to remove him from power. The president said they would soon be tried in a military court. Maduro also said that the government was tipped off by an alleged plot by young officers in the military, and said that these generals were actually connected to the opposition. We have to remember that Maduro and his predecessor, Hugo Chavez, have had numerous times in the past blamed the opposition and the United States of trying to overthrow their governments, including most famously in the 2002 coup that removed Chavez from power for 48 hours. Last month, Maduro expelled 3 U.S. diplomats for allegedly assisting the opposition in the recent political unrest that has claimed at least 35 lives. The opposition, meanwhile, says this is just another example of the Venezuelan president accusing outside forces in order to deflect attention from the country's economic and security problems.
Martin, we've also seen several arrests of opposition leaders and political figures who support the opposition. That's been happening recently. Is this a sign of a crackdown by the government?
Well, I think so. We have to remember in recent days, the mayors of these 2 opposition-controlled cities were arrested. Yesterday, the mayor of the western Venezuelan city of San Cristobal was sentenced to serve a year in jail for encouraging protests and failing to remove barricades that have sprung up all over the city. Meanwhile, opposition Congresswoman Maria Corina Machado was stripped of parliamentary immunity because, according to officials, she violated the Venezuelan Constitution by addressing the Organization of American States, the OAS, at the request of Panama. She was there to speak on alleged human rights abuses by the Venezuelan government. The Maduro government has long accused the OAS of being a pawn for U.S. interests in the region. So after a month, it seems that the Maduro government is taking a more combative approach to deal with some of the leadership of the opposition. And some say it might be working since the intensity of the protests have died down a little.
All right, Martin Markovits live for us in Caracas.